Good to see you again. Episode 5, Plant Pioneers. We're going to talk everything dandelion today. And I hope you um, find lots of dandelion in your fields and gardens that you can utilize as food and medicine this week. Hi! I'm leaning over to see these beautiful, perfect dandelions. So this is our next little plant that we'll be talking about, and I think these are perfect right here because it gives us a whole process of how dandelion grows and in all its stages. It's just great and perfect. So what we have here is one singular plant, and it's meat dandelion, Taraxacum officinalis. Also a composite, remember many rays, a composite family plant or aster family plant. Dandelion is not an annual, it's not a biennial, it's a perennial, meaning that it comes back year in and year out for a long, long time. Dandelion is all over our lawns. It lives close to us. It comes right up close to our house. That demonstrates that dandelion can be and should be a primary food for us. What we have here, what we're looking at, are a few stages in one dandelion flower, one dandelion plant with the different flowering that it has. We have, well, we don't have, yes we do. Look at that, there's a bud. In the spring, the buds tend to start very low and by the ground. In another few weeks, we're still in spring, but it's more late spring, the buds will start at the end of stems, like this stem here. So the buds won't start right up close by the center rosette. Then the bud will start to develop a little stem and grow and then create a flower. Here you can see the difference between this flower and this flower. And the difference you see is that the center of this flower is still pretty flat. It's very still, the rays are still very close together, and it almost has like a little flat top. This flower will close up tonight and reopen tomorrow. And as long as those center rays are still very much close together, that flower will keep closing at night and opening during the day until then the flower is until all the rays are completely opened up. And then what happens tonight, this flower will close up, and the flower will look like this tomorrow, and the plant will look like this, the flower will look like this for a few days, and then all of a sudden we'll get one of those beautiful dandelion puffs. And those puffs are all the seeds that remake more dandelions. And I get very excited about those little puffs because I don't have enough dandelions on my land. So anyway, we have dandelion. So that's the rosette, their flowers, their buds, their seed heads, and soon they'll make a puff, but not quite yet. What do we do with dandelion? There's so many things to do with dandelion, but one of the most popular things to do in the springtime, in the summer, before flowering, during flowering, after flowering, and when there's no flowers, to all the way throughout the summer, into the fall, into when the snow covers, and then no more, we can use dandelion leaves as a food. The leaves can be eaten raw. The leaves can be cooked, stir-fried, put in vinegars, sautés, quiches, soups, you name it. the leaves are very nutritious. So because dandelion is so common, and because dandelion is in all our gardens, they have been studied for many, many years. And they know that dandelion leaves are very high in vitamin A, but the vitamin A that is beta carotene, not the vitamin A oil. And dandelion leaves are also very high in calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Their roots are very high in inulin, and inulin is a carbohydrate fiber that is restorative to our gut as a healthy gut for healthy gut bacteria development. Inulin is also known as a prebiotic. Inulin is actually food for our gut bacteria. Dandelion roots can be sauteed, put in vinegars, and it could be eaten raw, but you'll need to develop a taste for that because the roots are pretty bitter. Oh yes, and so are the leaves pretty bitter. And actually bitter is better for us. Bitter helps us digest our food. Bitter foods in particular, like dandelion, either dandelion's leaf or dandelion's root, helps us also assimilate our food, meaning absorb the nutrients. And inulin also helps us with eliminating toxins from our body. So dandelion leaf and dandelion root does everything for us in starting us off with a very healthy digestion. And let's move to dandelion stems. So dandelion stems are, let's take a peek at them because they're very unique. They're not always like a tan green. They might get a rust, and then it can even be almost a burgundy color. Dandelion stems are edible, and dandelion flowers are edible, cooked or raw. And let's not forget about those buds. We were talking about before about those buds. Those buds, if you have a lot of patience, you can collect those buds and put them into vinegar and make dandelion capers. Dandelion flowers are made into crepes, are made into cookies, wine, drinks, for breakfast. Noticing the color, the flowers are very, very high in vitamin A, again, beta carotene. The flowers aren't as bitter as the dandelion stems, leaves, or root. And let me see if we could see this here. If we just pull off a leaf, thank you. And let's look to see if we can see, if we pull them apart, you can see a little bit of white latex oozing out. It's not the same latex that they use in gloves. So you can have this plant. If you're allergic to latex, you're not allergic to this latex. That's one of the bitter principles in dandelion leaves, is that latex there. And there's a whole lot more in the root, and that is what houses the inulin in the root. Dandelion's being looked at as a fabulous anti-cancer for leukemia and prostate and a number of other cancers. Nothing definitive just yet. Best time to harvest dandelion roots, because we didn't look at that. Best time to harvest dandelion roots, as with any root, is either in the spring, early spring, and or in the fall. So we're in spring, but once the plant starts to create flowers, the roots are now having to stay in the ground until the fall. So if you find and have a plant that has no flowers, like this plant, there are no buds even at the plant center, like this one has a bud at the center, you can use this dandelion's roots, but not this dandelion, not this one, and not this one. Anytime you see something developing as a flower on the above ground part, then you'll need to wait for root harvesting in the fall. So medicinal qualities of dandelion roots in particular are very specific for the liver and for the kidneys. And basically dandelion is one of those springtime roots that you have to help detox those organs. Dandelion roots as a tea. You can have a fresh root. You can use a fresh root in a tea, or you can use dried roots in a tea. It's good to, again, utilize the roots not from a plant that's already flowering. And you can dry the roots, slicing them up, then chopping them up into tiny pieces, dry them, and then store them in a jar, and a teaspoon into 8 ounces of water, simmered for about 20 minutes, makes a wonderful liver and kidney detoxifier. It is said that dandelion root can lower blood sugar. So if you have high blood sugar or you use blood sugar medicines, you want to check your blood sugar when you're drinking dandelion root on a regular basis. If you just do it once here, one there, like once a week, here and there, it's not going to make a big difference. If you're going to be doing it every day, yes, definitely check your blood sugar. And then, are there dandelion lookalikes? Oh, yes, there are. I have a list of about 17 different plants that appear like dandelion, whether it's dandelion leaves or dandelion looking like flowers, or just it looks like dandelion all around. I have a list of about 17 different plants that appear like dandelion. It's a lot of fun to look at them. We'll post that on our Facebook page when this comes up as a video, and but none of them are poisonous. So dandelion does not have any poisonous lookalikes. Yay! So that was dandelion. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about all the benefits and nutritional qualities, and hope you use dandelion in your daily life and speak up for dandelion. We don't need to glyphosate our fields and gardens anymore. We can keep them healthy and will be healthy. Thank you for coming today, and look, next week we're going to be going about and finding elderberry, but right now we'll be looking at elderberry's flower and what that looks like, and we're going to look at Scots pine and where they are growing and what they're good for. 2 woody plants next week. Yay, we're really getting to the nitty-gritty great stuff now. And so thank you for coming again this week. Look us up at plantpioneers.org and find us on Facebook at Marguerite Uhlmann-Bower or Plant Pioneers. Bye.